Have you ever noticed when things are going well for you in Football Manager, something happens just to grind it all to a halt? Gabriel Silva breaks his leg, pretty much out for the season. Despite that setback, we carried on storming on and did the unthinkable and beat Benfica. Going into November, we are top of the league. We haven't lost yet. We are absolutely flying. And then it all grinds to a halt. 7 of our squad are leaving us for up to 6 weeks, including 4 or 5 absolute key players. Yeah, I didn't think about this when I was plundering around South Africa finding players. So of that team there in this tactic, you're looking at Maini, who's going to be out. Mabasso's going to be out. Sibaya's going to be out. Oh, any more? Yeah, on the bench, Bamba's going to be out. So basically, I've got no right winger now. Problem I've got is Maini and Bamba are my 2 starting wingers. And Baker's not really a winger, so I don't really have anybody to play in this slot. Damn it. This brings me to one of my great frustrations with Football Manager. So I've got Edgar Motta here, who can play down the right-hand side. Ish, look at his position map. He can play perfectly at right wing back, perfectly a little bit higher up, and he can play more than adequately in the attacking midfield slot. But no, he cannot play as a normal midfielder on the right. Somebody tell me how that makes sense. But look, he's going to have to play there and fill in for a few weeks and see how he does, because we can't bring anybody else in. As for the other 2 slots, it's probably a bit of an opportunity for a couple of the young players. Mostly Kim Min, I'm looking forward to getting him involved. He is injured at the minute though, but he will be back for a bit of it. And thankfully, we have this legend to jump in up front, so we're not going to be too damaged, but it's still going to hurt like hell. It's nearly into the new year and we still have not lost in the league. In fact, all competitions are going pretty well, you know. We're in the semi-finals of the Alliance Cup, we're in the 5th round of the TATO de Portugal, and we've qualified comfortably in our old friend, the Conference League. Sitting second at the minute, still haven't lost. And the good news is the boys are back from the African Cup of Nations. They didn't do too well, so some of them came back a little bit earlier, which has helped keep a bit of momentum up. We're actually looking really good, and this win away to Marseille was a bit of a standout. We have put our bid in for Hugo Felix for his end of contract. Let's hope that his heart rules his head, because money boys are after him. So Hugo's made his mind up, he's away now. You'll notice transfers out is up to 23 million. Unfortunately, we've lost yet another of our key players. Edgar Motta has left us. Money talks, he's gone to Saudi Arabia. They've triggered his release clause for 16 million. It was really late on and I struggled to find a replacement with him. I've got this guy in, Andrea Maric. He can do for now, I love his mentals. But is he going to be as good as Motta? Time will tell. Now, that means we've spent 9.75 million in this season, which is probably one of our biggest outlays, and we brought in 23. So curiosity's got the better of me. How are we doing in that challenge of ours? I haven't forgot about it, although sometimes I feel like I want to. The bottom goal down the bottom there, have a net transfer profit of £1 billion by the end of this save. Right, so we'll go over to my manager profile. By the way, I've just realised my manager attributes have shot up and my reputation is 4.5 now. I am elite. So up to overview, and there we can see that players bought. We've brought in 109 players in our 11 seasons. That's what? Like 10 a season. Transfer value, we've spent a total of 17. We've sold 49. Doesn't include the guys we've released. And the transfer value we've brought in, we've broke the 100 million barrier to 109 million. Right, so if we take the 17 off the 100, in fact, let's get the calculator. Okay, here she is. So if we take the 17 off the 109 million, that means we've got a profit of 92 million, right? So reset that. Let's get in $1 billion in there. How do you type in $1 billion? That's 100 million, right? So there's $1 billion, and let's take off 92 million. I think that's right. And that leaves us with our grand running total of 908 million on the nose. The club finances are great at 44 million, but God, have I got some work to do to get to that. Meanwhile, back in the league, we've dropped to 3rd. We've lost a couple of games to Sporting and Boa Vista. Now, we have dropped a little bit. There has been a little drop that I was worried about, but it doesn't help when we get a couple of red cards in key matches. But we have made another final. We're in the Alliance Cup final right now against Sporting. Name a more iconic duo than me and losing cup finals with Salgueiros. We'd also dropped to 4th in the league, drawing a couple too many matches. And this is why I love this matchday screen. You look up here, my custom view is matchday essentials simple. All I've added basically is the last 5 games. Form guide. Now when I look down here, you can see that a lot of them are absolutely flopping it at the minute, including some big guns. So when you're out of form, it's important to be ruthless. Even someone like Felix, he's got his eyes on the money now in Saudi. He's going to be dropped. Same goes for Arnalot, the left back on loan from Barca. Not good enough at the minute. It could be slightly different for Mabasso. He's only 20, so young players can be inconsistent. So I will take him out of the firing line for a bit as well. So with Porto and Benfica just starting to crank it up a gear, this means that the Conference League now looks even more important. We've been knocked out of the TATO de Portugal by Sporting as well. They are literally our nemesis. We need to get to Champions League, and the Conference League is now looking like our best shot of a trophy. It was starting to look like we'd peaked a little too soon in the league. Porto found us out, and Benfica got their revenge for the defeat earlier in the season. So I decided to really focus on the Conference League, resting players for the big games, and this game against Stuttgart was a real standout. A stunning away performance, probably the best we've had this season, and we got the job completed in the home leg. So those defeats in the league have cost us any slim chance of fighting for the title. But we are on a good run now and we're smashing goals in left, right and centre. I haven't made any changes to the tactic, we've just kept flowing through. They are getting really tired though because we're playing so many matches. But by dropping those players a bit earlier on, the form has returned for a lot of them, which is ideal. So in the league, there's 4 games left. As it sits, we are sitting 3rd in the Champions League spots, but look how tight it is with Boavista and Sporting both chasing us down. But I got cheeky with the board, and yet again they're going to improve the club's youth facilities. I swear we're going to have a good youth intake before this save is done. So with the pressure on, the goals just kept on coming. A win in our game against Mafra would mean we qualified for our Champions League and our best ever finish in the club's history. A nice normal match got us there. I mean, what the hell was going on? Thanks to that though, we got our best ever Liga Portugal finish. Qualifying for the Champions League next season, huge. The budgets? It's our biggest budget yet, with a wage budget of 550,000 per week and a transfer budget at 10.5 million. Needless to say, Hugo Felix going to Saudi Arabia is going to be a huge miss next season. 26 goals in 41 matches. So a cracking league performance, and we are in the final yet again of the Conference League. We got Austria Vienna in the semi-finals and pretty much battered them. You can see there with 22 shots to their 3. So we're in the final where we will play Aston Villa. I didn't really want a Premier League team because it's always really tough. We'll have a little look at their key players now. You can see Odai Jose, Lewis McMahon, 19-year-old wonder kid. Jose, how much is he worth? Just 112 to 136 million. A great season though, a record total league goals, 86. So for the final, I'm not going to change a thing. I'm going to stay loyal to what we've been doing with our opposition instructions. We haven't been trigger and press on anybody. We've just been doing really basic things. Now, despite Villa being really good, if I pick out one of their players here, Chris Furness, I mean, their average players are all worth at least 45, 50 million. Some of them are ridiculous. I mean, they've got a centre-back there for 60, 70 million. This is going to be a real tough battle. But you never know. 140 million striker. Into the final we went. 56 minutes gone. Sam Well down the left-hand side. Deep cross to Sibaya with a huge header. Let's go. We held that lead up until the 83rd minute. Villa down the left-hand side with Ahmed. He crosses and it's an own goal from Captain Fernandez. Which meant we went to penalties. I'm going to let this play through and you can just sit back and, well, you can watch it.